Out of all the beautiful locations that I went to make my film, I'd have to say that filming the olive harvest in Chianti was on top of the list. It truly was one of the most spectacular autumns of my life. And you'll see olives being harvested the traditional way. You'll see the whole process of making the olive oil done the traditional way. It's at a place called Pornanino. In fact, the guy's name who runs it, his name is Matteo. You'll also learn that 82% of all olive oil worldwide is lamp oil. That's right, lamp oil. This makes up 82% of all the olive oil in the world. And this stuff is everywhere. It's in restaurants, it's in supermarkets, it's in grocery stores, even high-end grocery stores like Trader Joe's, for instance, has tons of lamp oil, Whole Foods, you name it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to identify the dreaded lamp oil and how to avoid it. I'll also show you how to choose a really good, healthy, fresh, high-quality olive oil. I call it medicinal because the really good olive oil is going to have medicinal properties. And I'll also give you some of my favorites, some names of some of my favorite olive oils that I've ever tasted, including my pick for the #1 California olive oil I've ever had, ever. Really, really freaking good. So, here we go. The dreaded lamp oil. What is lamp oil? What is this guy talking about? Lamp oil, as I said, makes up 82% of all olive oil worldwide. That's right. 82% of all the olive oil in the world is rubbish. Big names like Bertolli, like Star, like Monini, Basso, De Cecco, these are all examples of lamp oil. Lamp oil is chemically refined. It has absolutely no healthy benefits whatsoever, and it's got artificial ingredients in it, okay? Big agribusinesses, mainly in Spain and in Morocco, Tunisia, and Australia, they have at these facilities, and I call them facilities, I wouldn't call them farms because they're not really farming, they're just making this garbage. They have as many as 10 million trees at these facilities. 10 million olive trees, right? So they don't harvest the olives. They can't. It's way too expensive. It's way too labor intensive to harvest the olives like you'll see in my film, where at Pornanino they're harvesting the olives and doing the traditional practices, okay? So what they do is they let the fruit, olives are fruit, of course, they let the fruit get so ripe, overripe, that it actually falls down off the tree onto the ground. Then they have these big machines, these big vacuums that come and vacuum clean the soil with the rotten and rancid olive, with the twigs and the bark and the dirt and the insects, certainly insects and dog poop terroir, I don't know what else, okay? And this is lamp oil. This is, as I mentioned, 82% of all the olive oil in the world. So they've got this rank, rancid stuff, so the first thing they have to do is filter out all of that crap, right? There's no reason to filter an olive oil unless you are making lamp oil. In Pornanino, for instance, of course they're not filtering the olive oil. You want to have all those micronutrients, you want to have the pulp, as it were. You want to have all of that flavor in there that gives you the body and the depth of the 4 different types of olives that they're using. And lamp oil, they have to filter out all that stuff because it's rotting on the ground. And then they have to deodorize it. They have to take the smell out. They have to chemically lower the acidity to make it legal and fit for human consumption. So that's what they do. Then they have what they call a neutral greasy fluid. That's their goal, is to get a neutral greasy fluid. This stuff, right? It has nothing healthy whatsoever. It doesn't taste like anything at all. It's just greasy and oily. Then that's when they put the artificial coloring and the artificial flavoring to make it look and to make it seem like olive oil. In fact, most lamp oils will have a tiny bit of peppery, bitter, spiciness, maybe a tiny bit at the finish, at the end, after you taste it. That's how you know it's a lamp oil as well. Okay, packed in Italy. What does packed in Italy mean? Well, it means that it's lamp oil. It means stay away, don't buy it, it's rubbish. Packed in Italy means that they've shipped all the rancid, rotten olives from all over these different destinations of agribusinesses, and that they're either have already turned it into lamp oil and they're just bottling it in Italy, or that they're actually have the lamp oil facility in Italy, but the olives are coming from all these different places. Don't buy it. It's absolute garbage, okay? The other thing about this particular oil that I notice is that it doesn't even say extra virgin. So this is the second pressing of the rancid rotten oil. So this is the worst of the worst. Extra virgin, the only thing extra virgin really means is that it's the first pressing of the olives. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that the olives are high quality, have been cared for or harvested. Quite likely, in most instances, it's extra virgin lamp oil. That's what that means. This particular oil isn't even that. And so it's been filtered, it's been deodorized. It's the other thing about this particular oil that is very suspicious, especially since it doesn't say cold pressed or first cold pressed, is they're using heat extraction to get as much oil out of the rancid olive, out of that paste or however they're doing it, as possible. This is the worst of the worst. They're using heat extraction. By law, to call it cold pressed or first cold pressed, the paste, in fact the olives from harvest to pressing to storage, has to be below 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's 25, is it 25 or 35 degrees Celsius? I can't remember. So this is the worst of the worst. Stay away. Okay, we have Trader Giotto's President's Reserve. It's an obvious cheap joke, but come on, I mean, it's President's Reserve and it's 100% fake. It's been chemically treated. It's garbage. Extra virgin doesn't mean anything other than it was the first pressing of the rotten olives. You can see the fake green coloring. This is an oil from Whole Foods, 365 Italian cold pressed. You can see right away that it's been filtered in the fake green color. It's absolute garbage. Don't buy any of this stuff. It's also really cheap too. It's pretty hard to get an olive oil that's real for that price. Not impossible, because io sono un maestro di arrangiarsi. The Spanish or the Greek, what they're doing is they're just taking all the olives that are rotten and that nobody wants, they press them all together. You don't even know what variety they are. Here's another one that's a really good sign when it says Mediterranean blend. Mediterranean blend, all that means is that they've taken all the rotten, rancid olives from all over the Mediterranean. They've been in shipping containers for who knows how long, getting even more rancid. And a Mediterranean blend means it's lamp oil, it's garbage, stay away. There's no reason to make a Mediterranean blend. Any good olive oil is going to be an olive oil where the best, like at Portonino, is they grow the olives there, they harvest the olives there, and they actually press the olives on site. You cannot get better than that. Another example of what a lot of agribusinesses do with lamp oil is they'll add flavoring to it. They'll add a lemon flavor or a garlic flavor or some herbs. This is a pretty good sign that it's lamp oil, especially if you know the brand. If you know the brand to make actually authentic, real medicinal olive oil, it's quite likely that they're using really good stuff to then add their flavoring. But for the most part, it's a good sign that they are disguising the lamp oil with garlic flavor or with lemon or whatever, trying to give it some flavor whatsoever. Okay, now on to the good stuff. Trader Joe's, for instance, has a couple of oils that I would highly recommend for the money. Are they the greatest olive oils in the world that are going to blow you away? No, but they're healthy and they're very affordable and they're pretty darn good, actually. My favorite being Novello. Novello is available from December through maybe April, something like that, because this is harvested, and olives are harvested in October or early November, and this is available in December. So this bottle here is from the 2019 harvest. Trader Joe's will run out of it, which is a good sign that it's fresh and it's perishable. Trader Joe's will tend to run out of this in April. I highly recommend this. You can see that it's been unfiltered. It does come in a clear glass bottle. Most really good olive oils are going to come in a dark green bottle to filter out the UV radiation, because the UV radiation starts the oxidation process of the oil. So if you leave something like this out in the sun or in a hot place next to a stove, not a great idea. It's going to oxidize much quicker. So always store all of your olive oil in a dark, cold place. I love Novello. I use this actually to cook with. This is my base oil. This is as low as it gets in terms of olive oil in my house. Okay, the other one that I would recommend from Trader Joe's is the California. It is available year-round. It is unfiltered, cold pressed, and 100% Arbequina olives. To me, not the most interesting flavor spectrum because it's a monovarietal. It's just one type of olive that they've pressed. What I've seen from a lot of these California ranches, unless it's an estate, what they're semi-agribusinesses. They're doing it fast. They're doing it cheap. Could it be worse? Yes, it could be much worse. This is not. They're harvesting the olives. This is not lamp oil. It's good. For the money, it's about as good as you're going to get. Okay, what do I look for in an oil? Well, first thing I look for is, like this, is it unfiltered? That's the first thing. If it's unfiltered, okay, you've piqued my interest. Here's an example of an oil that I found, and I knew absolutely nothing about it. I'd never heard of it, but it's called Baluchi, and I was intrigued by it because it said 100% organic. But the thing that really interested me was it said it's crafted predominantly from Biancolilla, Noceralla, and Cerasuola olives. So three different types of varietals. I had never heard of them, of course. And I thought, well, let's give this a chance. So this is from the 2018-2019 harvest. I tried it right after I bought it, and like, oh my God, I bought the whole case. Because this stuff is normally very, very expensive. The liter I paid, this is a half liter. I think I paid $6 for this half liter. This is a very expensive oil. And it's still good almost 2 years later, which is another sign of a really good, healthy, verace, as they would say, a truthful, authentic olive oil. Yum! Here's a question that I get a lot. Can I cook with the lamp oil? Or I just use cheap stuff to cook with. No, don't, okay? Why would you cook with something that has been chemically refined, that has artificial flavoring and artificial coloring in it? I wouldn't use it for anything. Maybe my hinges on my door, I don't know. But by using lamp oil, you're supporting their abusive land practices, actually big agribusiness, and all the pesticides that they're using. You're supporting the fraud and the money laundering of the mafia, because there's tons of it with lamp oil. By choosing and paying just a little bit more, and being selective and paying a little bit more for a high quality, healthful oil, you're supporting small local farmers, you're supporting organics, you're supporting sustainable land practices, not to mention the traditional way of making olive oil. For instance, as you'll see in my film, in Chianti, they use the famous mix, they call it the famous mix of 4 types of olives: the Pendolino, Moraiolo, Lecchino, and Frantoio. And this which gives them their distinct flavor. Speaking of my favorite oil to buy, an old standby, they've never done me wrong. Probably in Italy, the best oil for the money that I've had, bang for the buck, is De Carlo. I love De Carlo. This is their classic olive oil. I just opened this bottle. Oh my God, as soon as you open the bottle, you can smell, it smells like fresh cut grass in a way. It smells very green, very fresh. Remember, olive oil is fresh fruit juice. Oh my God, grassy, green, bitter. It's very peppery, very spicy. Delicious. I could not recommend this more highly, especially for the price. Oh my God, this agrumi. This oil, as soon as I had it, I was blown away by the lemon flavor, and they don't put lemon in it. It's just a natural lemon flavor of the olives. I don't know what, it doesn't say exactly. It does say that it is bio, so it's organic. But to buy a very big bottle of this would be wonderful. This would go great on asparagus, for instance, on broccoli. Really beautiful oil. This is centonze. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know. Much different. This is really smooth. It's very nutty. Very sweet, actually. And here comes here comes the bitterness. A little bit, definitely peppery at the finish. Really, really fine, balanced oil, actually, this is. This one is bio as well. It's organic. And it's also on the Presidio of slow food. It would never get that label of the Presidio slow food if it wasn't high quality. Now, here we go. My number one California olive oil that I've ever had in my entire life is clearly McAvoy. This stuff is from Petaluma. Initially, I was skeptical. McAvoy, it's definitely not cheap. Yummy. This has the green. This is different though. This has the greenness, not as much as De Carlo, but it has a slight green, definitely a grassiness. It's lighter, it's sweeter, and a little bit of the pepper. Again, the peppery, the spicy, the bitter are the tannins, and that is indicating that the oil is still fresh. So even after 2 years, this stuff is still fresh. But of course, after I had it, I'm like, why is this so good? And then I saw it, boom. It's family owned. I know where it is, it's in Petaluma. But they're using in this olive oil 5 different types of varieties. The Frantoio, the Lecchino, Mission, Correttina, and Sevillano varietals. So of course, that's why it's so good. It's complex, it's round, it's bold, it's interesting. It has kind of like a layers of flavor. Check this out. This is from Umbria. Again, Umbria is like Tuscany. An oil that's from Umbria is, if it says that, it's highly likely it's not lamp oil, that it's good. The other thing that you can see about this is that it's DOP or DOP. This is a huge indication that the oil is high quality. It means that the area where this is grown has been protected. This also, of course, like most good olive oils will have when it was harvested, they all come in glass. I've never seen a high quality true olive oil that is stored in plastic bottles, okay? Now a lot of the lamp oil that you'll see is stored in these fake green plastic bottles. That's another surefire sign that this stuff is garbage. Another one, Foddi, F-O-D-D-I, from Sardinia. Really good. And I've met the Foddis. They're really lovely people. Starets. Starets is from Trieste, up in the northern eastern corner of Italy. Starets is such a good oil, but it's very different. Nunevera, and they are organic, and they are also in the Presidio of slow food. I realize that a lot of people are going to buy their olive oil at a supermarket. Next to all the lamp oil, you'll see an oil called Lucchini. Lucchini is good. Is it the greatest oil in the world? No, but it's good, it's healthy, it's real. You can see on the label that it says hand-picked. That's a very, very good sign that it is actually harvested. What a concept. It also says estate grown. That's also a very good sign. It lists the acidity level. If they care about the acidity and they're even mentioning that, it is a good sign that it's a real olive oil, and Lucchini is definitely that. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you got some good information from this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll put the links to all of the recommendations I made down below, as well as the link to my film, Aranjarsi, Pizza and the Art of Living. All right, ciao for now.